Hey everybody, welcome to another day of Cowardly Dog Howloween. And today we're going to be talking about the next two episodes, the Feast of the Bullfrogs, Tulip's Worm. So in Louvre are we two, and Night and Scarecrow. So, Feast of the Bullfrogs is kind of a weird episode. I need a little bit. Um, it starts out with these bullfrogs who obviously have no pond at all. So what they do is they go and find a new pond, and when they find it, it's in the middle of nowhere where Kurt's, Eustace, and Muriel all live. So what they do is they make the new home, and first they need to have a new pond dug. Then they teach um, Yo-Yo and Eustace how to croak like frogs. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Then they also teach them how to eat like frogs, which is also kind of weird because they eat bugs, obviously. Of course, so the king bullfrog decides that he wants courage to work with one of his lackeys to get flies. And so he does, and the lackey um, covers courage in honey, and all these flies come by and get on him, and he keeps ripping them off him. So he tries to get to talk to Isis and Muriel, who are now become bullfrogs. And what happens is he decides, okay, enough is enough. He goes ahead and gives goes ahead and gets the same idea that the bullfrogs did. So he goes out and puts honey on himself, and then just keeps, ripping the flies off, and then eventually stapling them to the top of the ceiling. And he whistles at the frogs, and what happens next is they're like, appetizers! Lick up the flies off the um, ceiling, only get stuck, and tries to get some away from him. And the main bullfrog goes, stupid dog, I have nothing left. And they leave. Alright, so I don't remember much of the episode, but it's pretty interesting what happens in the episode. Next episode we're going to talk about is the Tulip's worm. So Tulip's worm is basically these aliens, these teddy aliens, I should say, come to Earth looking for a worm, and one of them keeps blasting before they ask questions. He goes, ask questions, then blast. So, they come to Earth and they start blasting everything. And eventually they come to the farmhouse. And what happens is, Courage, stupid playing, has this worm. Daisy. Of course, Eustace doesn't like stupid playing. He's like, there was stupid playing dog. So, anyway, the teddies come up and, excuse me, they talk and they tell him, have you seen our worm? And it looks like the little worm that we've seen before, but when it comes out, eventually he it's a big worm, and that's not a small worm. So what happens is Eustace and the titties all get eaten by this worm. So they tell him that he needs to go find Tulip. Only she can get them out of there. So what happens is they tell him how to get to the planet. There's they tell him to count to 12 but they have to get to past the diner. I don't remember all the stuff they tell, but so what happens is while he's doing this, they're getting digested, and it's kind of weird because it starts tenderizing them, salt and peppering them, and when he gets there, Tulip, he shows Tulip her worm, and she's like, "Where are my teddies?" And and she realizes that they're too far gone in the worm to get out. So Curtis goes in and goes through the same thing that the Teddies and Muriel all go through. And oh, and by the way, there's a thing with this peanut butter and jelly sandwich that Muriel makes for her Curtis, which obviously is made out of vinegar. So what happens then is he once he gets inside and he sees Muriel, he goes, "I hope you enjoyed your peanut butter and jelly sandwich, Curtis." So he tosses it into the stomach, and that makes him spit up all three of them. And so what happens then is Courage and then Tulip decides that he's going to keep them as pets. But Courage rips off the band-aid that he has. He goes, "Naughty, naughty pets." And he goes home on this band-aid. Alright, the next episode we're going to talk about is, so in Louvre, are we two? So this episode opens up with them going on vacation to France. And they see this museum, and obviously they're there to see the Mona Lisa. Because Muriel says that her and the Mona Lisa look alike. They do not. So the guy there, it looks like Napoleon, so it's kind of weird. He tells him, "You have 5 minutes before it closes." And so they go inside, and Eustace and Muriel wants to get a picture with the Mona Lisa. So Curtis does take a couple of pictures, and then Eustace says, "Hey, give me with this stupid statue. It's called the Thinker." And so it's closing after a few minutes, and he goes, "And I know what he's thinking. Where's the television?" So in the wings, the intercom comes on, and he says, "It is now closing time." And so while this is happening, all the paintings and every statue starts coming to life. So Mona Lisa sees the Thinker. He goes, "Hey, Thinker, we'll go out of the town." And so he does, and he goes, maybe, maybe might be good, might be weird. So because he's a Thinker, it's funny. So what happens is they go to a painting and with a beach, and they say, and Mona Lisa says, "We want to get into water," and Might cold. Might get a sunburn. So the Kurtz goes in, and then this guard comes in and goes, "Hey, do you not read the sign? No dogs allowed." And it's, it says that. So he's kicked into the poker playing um, dogs fixer, where he gets a royal flush, and then he gets kicked out of that painting. So when Mona Lisa and the thing are seen again, I think they're seen, but before that, Curtis notices that Muriel's painting, actually Muriel tells him that the painting is drying. And he's obviously trapped in this painting because Mona Lisa made her take her place, by the way. So what happens is the next thing that they do is they're at this, I think the next, oh no, they're in the weird painting. The Picasso's painting. Well, Picasso's painting. So it's just crazy. I don't remember what happens, but he gets kicked out again. Curtis gets kicked out again. This time he gets kicked out into this. I don't remember what kind of painting it is. But at one point you can see him actually. You've seen the screaming painting, right? He's actually a screaming painting at one point. So anyway, he goes next to the next place they go to is a diner, and he goes inside, and Curtis goes inside, and they just try to think what he wants to drink, but Mona Lisa just wants someone to understand. So Curtis sees these two couples kissing. I don't remember what the statue is called, but he tries to get their attention. The guy's attention. He just sweeps them away. So he sees Cupid, and he takes a bow and arrow, and Cupid starts crying. So he gives him a Game Boy. So he shoots the guy that's kissing the other girl. He goes, "Ooh, baby." And he sees Mona Lisa, and he takes Shakespeare's clothes off, and he dresses himself. And so eventually he gets Mona Lisa, and Chris basically gets Mona Lisa and him back in her painting. So what happens afterwards is they go up to this, and he gets Muriel out before it dries. So they see the painting with the farmers, and he's like, "That kind of looks like home." So they go through, and by the time the episode ends, we see Muriel asks, "What else this is?" And he's in the museum. In this position, he's like, "I got an itch. I can't scratch it." And the same guy goes, "Stupid American." Alright, so next episode is Night of the Scarecrow. So Night of the Scarecrow is probably one of my favorite episodes, because it kind of reminds me of Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz. So, on their way home, I don't know what they're doing, but they get stuck because Curtis sees something. So they hit this bump in the road and get stuck. And then they see these crows flock around this figure. And when Eustace hits the horn, it's So the Scarecrow is in there. So, and he's pretty beaten up. So Muriel takes him home and starts patching him up. And he he starts, doing things where like set up to Eustace, of course, gets smacked away by him, and eventually he can't talk because he doesn't have a mouth. So Muriel opens his mouth, and there's a lot of things that happens. Like a snake comes out of the ground, and he tries to basically scare it, but Courage scares it instead. And then he tries to scare an alien, but Courage gets away with his scaredness. And Miro just tells him, "Oh, you just sound scared. That's all." And that night he listens to a training thing to make him stronger, and so or more scary. So he comes back and he's buffer and he's got this mullet. Oh, by the way, the reason why I remember why they went to they went to the fair. So what happens is he takes Eustace and Courage, kicks him out, and then he takes Muriel to a safe house, which is down in the basement. And Courage tries to get in, but can't. But anyway, by the way, there's a part where Eustace wants jelly for his toast, and the Scarecrow rips his paper out of his hands and then throws him out. And Courage. So he has set up this dragon statue. When Courage tries to open the cellar door, he gets burned. Then Eustace, wanting his jelly, tosses him in and to the statue, and Muriel is seen again. And of course, Courage goes out, and him and Muriel gets out. They to the statue, and then the Scarecrow follows him. So what happens next is he follows him to the same cornfield where they found him, and Courage gets the same idea as happened before when they met him by getting the same clothes to come up to him and attack him. And of course, they feel sorry for him and get the clothes off him. And then it's like, what is a scarecrow if you can't scare somebody? And, oh, by the way, there's a scene where Eustace is basically being chased by the plow. So what happens next is they take him, and Curtis decides they would be a good tractor driver. So the episode ends with him driving a tractor and Eustace eating that bale of hay. Alright, so tomorrow we're going to talk about Mondo Magic, Watch the Birdies, Fishy Business, and Angry Nasty People. Alright, so don't forget tomorrow, we'll see that tomorrow. And don't forget Saturday is another one of my Saturday discussions. Like I was Garcia, I'll see you guys tomorrow.